Hello, y'all. How's it going? Oh, I just realized. 1 second. Let me turn off those lights real fast. They're behind me. Those shouldn't be on. Those usually aren't on. I'll fix that in a second. You know what? I can do this now. There we go. Very quick break there, which the people watching the VOD later on won't even notice, won't even be in the VOD. Will just be a jump cut because the VOD recording paused and then went to the break, and then when it came back, the recording resumed. Very simple way to make it look as if I've done edits. No, it's not edits, it's just the recording pausing and unpausing. I am, as I do like hotkeys to start a break, basically. It's quite convenient for me. I don't have to do nothing after it's all done to make that happen. It's nice. I like it. Anyway, enough talking about OBS and such things and all that. Let's talk about saying things such as hello. How are you? It is. What is the day today? It is. Oh, I looked at my phone for that, but I don't need to do that anymore because I got one of them Apple Watches. I can look at that. It's Tuesday, February 6th. I made it so that the date is on the face when it's when it is on its watch face mode. Don't know how to describe that, but okay. It is February 6th, and we are doing more Skyward Sword. I will say one thing before we begin, which is that I am doing Stardew Valley co-op with Judo, on Thursday. That'll be a Thursday stream at the previous time where those Thursday streams were, 8 p.m. We'll see how that feels, and it'll be fun to just do some farming, all nice and chill, with Judo in tow. Judo's cool, and in a while since we could collab due to schedule conflicts for the last year. Looking forward to that. That'll be nice. All I have to say about that. Let me also do one more thing. I'm gonna check the thermostat because I didn't think to do that before we started. We started a little bit earlier than 8 o'clock though, so we're still well on track to starting at the expected time. Honestly, I could have started a half hour early if I wanted. I got it all set up for the most part, and then I realized oh, it's 7:30. Huh. Quick break. All right, that was the break. There should maybe be a break screen that's not as serious as the full-on break, that just says, give me 1 second, because that would be nice to have as a way to just cut that 2 seconds of me running to the thermometer and running back out of the stream. You don't need to see that. You don't need to see that now, do you? Maybe even could be where y'all could see on the VOD, but we all know that it doesn't get into the VOD. On the live, you would see it, and the VOD would be gone, eradicated, and so forth. That's, yeah. Anyway, all that to say, tonight, we're doing the regular thing. We're continuing this here game. Last time we got through, we got through that dungeon right over there. See that one? That one? Yeah, that one right there. The ancient Cistern. We got through that. And next up is apparently the Sand Sea. After we go up to the clouds and do a thing. So we're gonna go up to the clouds and do a thing, and maybe it'll be more tedious than I'm hoping. But I'm hoping it's literally just we go up the clouds, we do a thing, and then we're heading over to the Sand Ocean. Because the Sand Ocean is a pretty damn cool chunk of the game. I was thinking about this before the stream, and I decided to title the live version accordingly, because I think it might be the best chunk of the game. I might say that the Ancient Cistern over there is the best dungeon of the game, but as far as like adventure zones, as far as like concepts of areas, as far as like execution, the Sand Sea is probably the game's best idea, and it also is definitely for sure the best non-dungeon chunk of the game. And, you know, the dungeon itself is also pretty good. You know, it's... If we're just counting from, like, a stream's worth of game, like from one dungeon, from the end of one dungeon to the end of the next dungeon as being a chunk, this is probably the best chunk. Let's go! Let's go! Hey! We are now heading towards... Let me switch. We are now heading towards the, we just go to where the... You gotta do something in the cloud zone now. In the storm front. Does this have a name? The Isle of Songs. Okay, that's better. That's what we'll call it, yes. I'm not expecting this part to be, I'll say, terribly interesting, so why don't we just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. I'll talk about the thing that is, you know, the subject of the first card what I have here. I bought an Apple Watch. I said on Friday that perhaps by this time I would have just gone out and bought one, and indeed that's what happened. I saw on Best Buy that they were $50 off right now, and I said, okay. That's good enough. I'll go ahead and give that a go. And I ended up getting the expensive one because I kind of like the way that it looks. It's indestructible, apparently, basically. And though I don't have that much in the way of big uses for it, other than like, I'll take it to a water park. It's nice to know that it's gonna be able to weather that perfectly good. Whenever the next time I go to a water park is, I'm sure it'll be perfectly good for everything else what I do. I'll admit that I don't really have that many applications for it. As far as, like, the durability that it has. It's kind of overkill for me, but I like the way it looks. I like its flat top. And... yeah, durability is a nice thing. I did realize since the Friday stream, and I mentioned on the Saturday morning stream that I did, I talked about onsens, like Japanese hot springs. And then I realized after, like, oh, well, that's probably not going to be the etiquette. Like, you probably don't wear your watch into a Japanese onsen. It's probably rude and weird. And I imagine I'll leave it with the rest of my clothes in such a occasion. But, I guess, hey, you know, say I have a private, you know, say I'll get one of those hotels that have one included. That statue has a mouth. I didn't notice that. It's doing that. Okay, can we do that like 2 more times? Get the other ones right now. I'll say on the topic of which one we're going to next, I did think that the mountain, the volcano, would be the 5th one, but apparently it's the Sand Sea is the 5th one. So after the first lap finishes, they sort of go in reverse. Go forest, volcano, desert, then forest, desert, volcano. And I think maybe the next time it'll be forest, volcano, desert. On the last lap, I'm not sure. Last time I played this game, I did not do the last lap because there's too much bullshit in that last lap that I hate, and ooh. Yes, I know this. I gotta do a trial. Yes. It's in Lanayru Desert, that's right. Teach me the song. Okay, so first I go this way, then I go that way, then I go this way, then I go that way. Am I getting that? Am I getting it? Good. Okay, I've learned the new song. The same as all the other songs. Indistinguishable. What does the scene mean? Who gave me this one? Is it Din or the other one? It's not Din, is it? Nehru. I guess Nehru loves birds. Nehru loves birds. Well, she's lucky. She's in the this is the bird game just for her. All right, that was an easy one. Surely we're not going to pop out of here and find ourselves in some sort of Skyloft emergency. That said, we should go by the town and re-up some of our shit. We gotta go get a potion, buy whatever we can. That's probably a good idea to do now versus later. So anyway, yeah, so basically I spent my Sunday afternoon driving around trying to find a place where I could see the expensive Apple Watch, because it turns out Best Buy and Target and, you know, all the other stores I could think of that have the watches, they don't show you the one that's a lot more expensive than any of the rest. So I had to go to an actual Apple store to see it, and apparently this is, you know, the region I'm in. You know, I'm in like the suburbs of North DFW. I said McKinney before, you know, that sort of thing. Vaguely. Anyway, Plano, McKinney, Allen, there's no Apple store in any of them. The nearest Apple store is in, like, North Plano. So it's kind of an inconvenient distance away. So it was kind of an inconvenient drive. Oh, hey. Especially because, like, I don't know, I've been trying to avoid tolls recently. Or, not really, but I've noticed that when you put in a route now on Google, it'll tell you how much the tolls cost, and I don't know if they always were this bad, but sometimes I put it in and it's like, yeah, it'll be $10. And it's just like, what the fuck? And I was just thinking, like, yeah, I want to do this at Best Buy to save like $50. Paying $20 round trip to go there and back to the Apple store, that doesn't make sense. That's eating away at the slim savings that I'm hanging my head on here. So anyway, I got one. I got the Ultra 2. The band was in a large, which is a little bit big on me, honestly. But that's what they had. And I asked, well, what about the other Best Buy in the area? And they said, they're all out. I think they're all out. I don't know if that was true, but that's what they told me. And I got it. I've been using it for the last 2 days. I'll say my first impressions were not especially great, because honestly the thing seems to have like it takes a while to get it all set up and to get like convenient stuff, get the face situation figured out, to figure out what I'm going to use the action button for, to get the hang of how exactly you use an Apple Watch. Yeah, you gotta do a thing to open that. There were a lot of, like, loose ends, and also, as a device that is very strictly a supplement to a phone, kind of like a fast access phone terminal, essentially, there's not a lot you can do with it on its own, where, you know, if you're just spending time playing with it, you'll notice, like, oh, this Messages app, it's like the one on the phone, but, like, weirdly compromised, in that the high-definition images that the Apple phone, the iPhones can take, they don't display in the Messages app. You have to, like, click them and go to a separate window, and that's weird. The Google Maps app is absolute shit on the thing, and like, you know, a good half of all the apps that I use just have no presence on the phone. Like, I can't get my list app on the phone, the one that I use to lay out conversation cards. Like, you know, the one that I take notes on, I can't get on the watch. Discord, Twitch, things with chats, things with like community situations. A lot of those aren't on the watch, and makes you go like, well, what can you do with it? And I'll admit, like, when I actually went into the office on Monday, I did start seeing some applications of it. You know, I did start going like, okay, yeah, it's very nice when stepping out the door to just look at the watch and see, like, the temperature that it is and know that I need a sweatshirt in 2 seconds. That's pretty sweet. It was pretty cool when I was driving and trying to go to a Church's Chicken. I was trying to go to a Church's Chicken I've never been to before, and I realized I could just have it navigate me there, and it would buzz every time I need to do something, which is pretty cool. I can see the appeal there. I could see the utility. I just need to find like 10 more applications of that, as well as stuff that can be done independently. I'll say I got the Ultra only comes in a cellular model, and I'll say I would have gotten one that had cellular in any case, because one of the big applications I see for the watch is using it, say, online at Universal Parks when they take your phone away. You have to put the phone in the locker because it can fly out of your pockets on a roller coaster. Watch won't fly out. It is secured, so it can go on the ride with you. But I'll also say, like, the way that the watch is now, I can hardly think of anything that I would do in line, because, yeah, it doesn't have Discord, doesn't have Discord, so I can't read, like, a Discord channel. It doesn't have speakers, so I can't. If I'm leaving my phone in the locker, I'm also leaving my earbuds in the locker, so that's out. I can't do anything related to music or podcasts. Maybe I could read a news app, which I don't have any that are compatible right now. I could look at my photos in line. That's weird. I could look at the weather in line. I'm sort of at a loss here, trying to think of things that you could do that would make the phone worth using make the watch worth using without the phone on hand. Cases where that would be, and also where that'd be relevant at all, and I'm kind of at a loss. Now, I don't do like any sort of music service. I just have all my music, my podcasts all locally downloaded, so that whole aspect of it is out. You know, I don't need internet for that. And again, for water park, theme park line, that sort of thing, all those cases, music is all ruled out because you can't play music on the speakers, even if it wasn't really, really rude to. I could get some. Can I do anything right now? Oh, yes, I can. Okay, I'll upgrade that. Even if it wasn't really rude, I can't really think of a good application of it, and maybe the thing is, like, okay, I need to go seek out some apps that are specifically made for it. I saw one that was like, oh, this is like a browser, but for the watch, and it's like $1, and it can't be very good, but you can have a little bit of a browser situation. I'd say so far, my impressions of the watch is that it reminds me a lot of flip phones from, like, the aughts. In that, like, oh yeah, it was always a really compromised experience to use the internet on a flip phone. But if you were really bored and all you had is your phone, you could read a Wikipedia article, and that is sort of the level at which the watch is playing on. Though it can also be a very rudimentary media player with a very poor interface. It could also be that if you want to. But I don't really think that's what it's trying to be. At least I hope that's not what it's trying to be. I would say it's more of a notification device, more of a fast access, more of a terminal for the phone. And I'll say I did some I did some work to try to make it like usable and try to like do some quality of life type stuff. For instance, I put together a face that I like that seems pretty smartly done. Let me show you what my Apple Watch face is. It uses the ultra modular that is exclusive to this bigger, slightly bigger, more expensive watch, but big typeface in the middle, dates up top using two of those things, of those complications they call them. I got a timer there, so if I'm running a timer, it'll tell me like how much time is left on the timer, and it's also a button that can open the timer. And the bottom is just 3 little things about the weather that are useful to know. The temperature, the precipitation, and general conditions. Seems like a good spread and fairly useful. Fairly useful at a glance information without being weird. I'll say that it kind of was like surprisingly hard to put together a watch face that I liked, but I think I am satisfied with this though, because all the complications are limited to a certain small circle of size. That date, whenever it gets like more digits than 2, is gonna get smaller and smaller. So come October 11th, it's gonna be smaller than the day of the week. But whatever, that's fine. It's weird that you can't just find... It's weird that it's not more flexible. That you can't just say like, okay, give me a big giant date up there that has the month and the year and everything. There's certainly room for that, but instead you have to work with what they give you, and the layouts just don't allow that to be above the time. That's how I would like it. Date, time. And that's how I got it here, but pain in the ass to get it that way. Apple for you. Sometimes they just don't want to give you the tools to do what you want. I will say, though, I was impressed. I found there's like a shortcuts thing, and there's like a button, programmable button, and one of the things you can program to it is like a shortcut, using the shortcuts thing on the iPhone. And what I found, like Googling around for ideas, is that you can literally make it pull up a menu, and from that menu, I could select things such as messages, phone, music, overcast, and maps. Is what I have on there right now. And that actually is pretty convenient and gets rid of one of the harder problems with the watch, which is that the whole situation when you pull up the whole grid of apps is really confusing and hard to navigate, hard to find what you want. So just putting those 5 in a quick access thing is pretty handy. Pretty handy to have that on a button, and that's one of the advantages of getting the pricier watch. I was able to do that, and I think that's going to make it fairly more usable. Anyway, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm getting used to it. I haven't used the sleep functionality. I used the underwater functionality. I brought it into the bath the other day, and then once I was in there, I realized, like, well, what am I going to do with it in the bath? I already, like, leave my phone right next to the bath, so I can already just go grab that and do, like, changes as far as, like, next song, that sort of thing. You can't even do that on the watch, really, because once it's submerged, the screen and all the UI turns off. So it's kind of just a thing to look at while in the bath. I think, in the future, even though it's waterproof, I'll take it off before I go into the bathtub. Though, still will be handy, like, at the beach. I assume at the beach, at the weather. You know, it's not like there's a Kindle app, so what exactly do you do with it at the beach? Another big question. Yeah. A lot of questions I have. Wait, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the... Fuck you. I wanted the... This one, actually. Okay, I guess I'll just, drink it. What's the blue? Want that. Don't care about that. I can just pay a guy to repair it for me. That's... I can just heal. Give me the heal potion. That's all I want. Very good. Anyway, getting used to it. I'll say one thing that has been a issue is that I don't think I love this band. It's alright, but it's a little big on me. I can't make it any tighter, any more comfy. That said, replacement bands that are third party are like 10 bucks a piece, rather than the 50 to 100 that Apple charges for them, so it's not really a big deal. I was a little intimidated when the guy at the Apple store said like, oh yeah, they're like $100 for that one. I was like, Jesus Christ, really? Amazing margins on that, I bet. Thanks, I don't have enough. Can I sell shit now? Must be incredible margins on that. And, yeah, I just got a couple from on the way from Amazon. I figure I'll like one of them, ideally, and it'll be more comfortable than this weird one that's not quite fitting 100% right, I think. It's fine enough, it's just, like I said, I can't make it any tighter, and sometimes I feel like it's just a tad loose. But then again, sometimes I feel like it's just right, so what do I know? Apparently I have a small wrist. Kinda surprised me that the small bands that they have for watch fit me just fine. Nothing else in a small fits me, as a, 200-pound adult. Roundabout. Everything else I wear is in a large, you know? But that's fine. Doesn't really matter. What's a wrist? Anyway, getting used to it. We'll customize it a bit. Continue living with it. And, yeah, I'll occasionally ask people and say, hey, what are you supposed to use it for? Other than making sure you don't lose your phone and, tracking your steps while you're at a theme park. Like, what else can you use it for? It seems like everyone has them these days. Like, I did show it off a little bit at the office. I was saying, hey, I guess got one. And I noticed as I was doing that, like, oh yeah, well, everyone has one these days. Like, it seems like half of everyone at the office has one on their wrist and isn't even thinking about it anymore. And I'm sure I'll get to that point eventually. It's just very new, and I definitely feel like this is a thing where in 10 years, it'll be very different. You know? In 10 years, they'll make it a much different product. They'll improve it. They'll continue iterating on it. I think I want to go to... That was the Temple of Time? You know, this whole area is like the time travel area. So I guess it makes sense that this zone has the Temple of Time. It's just, I would have thought the Temple of Time would be this building over here, where the Impa lives, where mysterious old woman lives. Not Impa, that's not her name. Impa's the young woman who we already know. I don't know why I said that. it makes sense that the time temple would be in the time area, but still, it's weird. I guess in the past it was foresty, so you know, it was green. So I guess after the Temple of Time stopped being in a town, it eventually became a forest, and then from there became a desert. Must be eons between these games, huh? We're going to North Desert. Oh, I gotta put my water down in the cup, and there was a cough drop in there. Little sick. Woke up with a horrible sore throat this morning. Mostly better now, I think. I've been taking Dayquil and a good amount of cough drops, but seems like taking it a little bit easy today helped. Something's going around the office, I'll say. So it's not like I'm making it up or nothing. Just feeling better, apparently. I'm glad because I've been, wanting to do this stream. It'd be sad if I couldn't talk good. That's why I took the Dayquil, the second dose, an hour ago. Just to make sure it was extra good and it just hitting right when we were starting. That sort of thing. Need to go find the thing. Ah, there it is. Alright, it's time to do the trial. It's time to do the trial here. Another one of them stealth trials. Let's see if we can do it in one again. Here's hoping. These things can be, scary. But, this part is not really scary, it's just tedious. So, I think I'll stay with the watch and, use it for things. I'm not sure about sleeping with it. Seems to me a little weird to sleep with it. I don't really see the benefits of letting it track my sleep. I feel like just having a big thing on my wrist would disrupt my sleep more than it would help. But I'll think about it. And, I wouldn't mind doing it for a nap, except I don't think I saw an option in there for, just a nap. So go figure. It's only for, actual legitimate sleep. Bedtime sleep, I think. Whatever. I'll say also I don't really do much in the way of exercising, though I do like a walk now and then, and maybe it'll be helpful in that. A good 2 to 5 mile walk is kind of, in a little way, a lot of what the Apple Watch is for. But we'll see what happens. Minigame time! Stealth minigame time number 2, the second of them in this game. I remember these being frustrating. There's only 3 of them, and the first one wasn't bad. Yeah, I got grapes in me. Just like in Twilight Princess, except more scary and less of a less of just a busy work type situation. This is a challenge because these guys will fuck us up. Now, question I have to ask is, should we be doing, like, any sort of prep here? You can mark the map this way, but it'd be so... It'd be better if you could just literally... If you could Breath of the Wild it and just set waypoints exactly where the things are by looking at them. I think we want to run for that one. I also think we want to go to the one at the top. That's going to give us a nice vantage point with which to see everything. I don't think we want to go over there. We don't have bombs, so we can't open up that. Okay. Now that that's done, we can relax. Just methodically collect all these things without too much fear. Like one way up here. Wait. Oh, here we go. That's not necessarily, I cough a lot, honestly. Not necessarily the whatever. I think I'm mostly over it now, honestly. Whatever I had earlier. Though, it could also be the Dayquil taking effect. You know, could be multiple things. Anyway, I got more cards here. I pull one. I ate some Cinnabon. Yeah, while I was at the running around, trying to look at a Apple Watch, ended up at the mall that they got in North Plano, one of the malls, and in that mall is a Cinnabon, and I thought, you know what, I didn't have breakfast before leaving today, so yeah, I think I'll just try some Cinnabon. And I was surprised. It's not just like a, you know, like a cinnamon, I kind of thought the Cinnabon was just like cinnamon rolls that you get from, what's the brand? With the little doughboy? Woohoo, you know that guy. You poke him in the belly. I thought that the cinnamon rolls from Cinnabon would be basically that, but, for more money. But they're actually really big, really soft, and they got like chocolate or something under them. I don't know if it was chocolate, but it looked like chocolate. I don't know. They were big, they were soft, they were sweet, and they were pretty good little breakfast. I was surprised. I quite enjoyed having them. Would recommend to anyone who doesn't, you know, never been to Cinnabon. Maybe I'm the only one who's never been to Cinnabon ever. And again, I bet there's loads of restaurants people just haven't been to for perfectly good reasons. I have a couple in my back pocket, like, yeah, I've never been to, I've still never been to Arby's. I might just go to Arby's. I've previously had that as like a treat stream option for people to do, and I thought that would be fun as like a first, oh, you know, if you want to do a treat stream, a bonus. It's something I've never had before and have no idea that I would like. First time Arby's would be, imagine if my first time at Arby's was on stream. That'd be interesting. But also working a office job, and wherein I like to go out to lunch every day. Just my personal preference, you know. I don't mind eating alone, so that's not a barrier to me. So, one thing that's hard about that is I have to keep on thinking of places I want to go and try not to repeat myself too quickly. So, having another restaurant in my back pocket that I can go to wouldn't be a bad idea, so I might try out Arby's sometime. Just on my own, rather than trying to make it into a thing that's, for reasons, is hard. You know, most of my streams are at night, usually after Arby's closes. So the only times I've been able to do like, oh, treat stream has been on big, long event streams, and like, those are like a couple times a year, and then, you know, it still requires someone to get in early, right? Like, pretty early in the stream. If it gets too late in the stream, if they close, and it's a whole... Dude, how do I get that out of the tree? There we go. I thought you just... Oh, you gotta run and click the stick. Obviously. If you can't roll if you don't run. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. Go away. Get away. Fuck off! Oh, I hope the other one doesn't come up my asshole. Good. They didn't. It didn't. But also, how am I getting out of here? Jesus. Fuck me. I can, like, thread the needle here. Oh, wow, you can thread the needle with these guys if you just... run between their detective... Rages! Okay. Also, we're like, our meter is halfway done, so we gotta get a thing pretty shortly. But fortunately, it's right there. Fortune! Oh, God! Jesus Christ. Fucking waking water. Fuck you, waking water. That sucks. This waking water is the worst. I hate this waking water. Hey, hey, hey! Jesus Christ. Sucks. This is so bad. Okay, I'm standing on the minecart, so... everybody be chill till I go back to the start. Oh, that's cool, though. After you get the last one, it don't expire. Unless you went into the waking water again. At which point, all bets would be off. Okay, that was clean. That was clean. God, I remember this shit taking like 2-3 tries when I did it the first time back in the early 10s. It wasn't the aughts, was it? It was the like 2010, 2012 or something, right? When did Skyward Sword come out? $2011. Okay. I remember this being a huge, frustrating thing, so I am glad we got through it in one go. I hope that the last one of these goes as cleanly next week, I assume. I assume that'll be next week. We'll see. It'll be next week, probably. Most likely. There's not like a big... There's not like an inordinate amount of stuff between here and, between there and here and there. Just a single stream length worth of content. Alright. There's the challenge, the trial done. Now we're heading towards, the sand sea thing. Which I'll say, I sometimes talk a little too much about the meta part of this, or like things I will do later, like how I will break up the VOD. Yeah, I'll probably put a chapter mark, that sort of thing, timestamp where we get to the Sand Ocean, because that's a good bit. Now we're going to the Sand Ocean, which is gonna be alright. It's gonna be fine. So, where are we going then, actually? Will be a bit of me wandering and saying, like, oh, okay, where's the next place? I guess look for places we can hookshot. Or clawshot, whatever these ones are in particular. Oh boy, a dark relic. Here's a card. Been rewatching Breaking Bad. Watched the first 4 episodes. Goddamn good show. Started rewatching it with my folks as like a thing that we watch a few episodes of every week, which is fun. Nice to watch it at a nice, relatively relaxed pace, though. Honestly, I wouldn't mind watching a few more every week rather than just a couple eps every Saturday. I go over and hang out with them and have dinner. Damn good show. I like, it's kind of interesting how the second and the third episode sort of function as a two-parter, where you get the whole Crazy 8 arc, essentially. And it's a good arc. It's a good, solid arc. You get, like, in the first episode is all about, kind of ends with the whole bathtub thing, and the second one, the third one, second episode ends with the bathtub. The third one ends with, the plate. I'm saying things that, Breaking Bad fans will understand, you know, without context, but, hopefully don't spoil anyone who, for some reason, hasn't watched, Breaking Bad. Those two notes are great, and are great steps along the road for Walter and Jesse, which is what you want. It's a nice, good, slow burn, and probably the slowest the series ever is, honestly. Like, very few other points in the series can you say, like, yeah, these 2 episodes kind of have a single arc to them. You know, usually, by the end, the start of an episode versus the end of the episode, the stakes have changed entirely. And the problems they're dealing with at the start of one episode are usually not foreseeable at the beginning of the previous episode. Things change that fast in Breaking Bad. And just for the first two episodes after the pilot, that's not the case, and it's sort of it's more of a situation that takes more than 1 episode to resolve. Which, again, rare. Very rare for them to be working on a thing for that long before something fucks up or weird complications arise or, ooh. Also watched the episode after that, Cancer Man. Very good, subsequent episode as far as, like, yeah, things are moving. The rest of the family's getting in on the news that Walter is dealing with. And there's some real good stuff in all of those episodes. Like, goddamn, looking forward to watching the rest of that over the course of the next several months. It's gonna be a slow thing rather than a fast thing on account of, doing it once a week with, my folks. We like to watch shows like that, or rewatch shows like that. Breaking Bad was actually one of the first ones we did that way, like 10 years back, or however the fuck long it was. Maybe 7, 8 years back. And get right down to it, like, Breaking Bad is a show good enough where you can do it again that way. Maybe Sopranos was the actual first, because we can, we all love Sopranos in my family. I think that Sopranos and Breaking Bad equal tier. They're both two of the best shows there has ever been and will ever be, and you can't go wrong with either of them. I think Breaking Bad has better, like, plot progression and has a better sense of, like, oh, every episode changes the stakes, moves things forward, is unique and flavorful in its own way, is the perfect episode, and, is consistently good. Whereas, this looks like an area that is worth... There, that must be the way. Whereas, Sopranos has more in terms of, like, weak episodes, but at the same time, I think Sopranos kind of hits harder with its best, most hilariously stupid fucking episodes, And as far as lines go, there's a lot of memorable lines in Breaking Bad as far as, like, people being really cool and intimidating. And some lines that are just Jesse Pinkman being a dumbass. But as far as dumbass people being dumbasses, hilariously, Sopranos is just full of fucking classic lines that I think about a lot. Cunnilingus and psychiatry brought us here. Shit like that, where it's just, God damn it, that's a line that you got in your show. Good on you, I love it. There's a ton of breaking balls in Sopranos that is all super well done. Breaking balls, scenes of violence, characters just being total psychopaths and like total weirdos. It's so good. But consistently, Breaking Bad is like the best thing on television. Guys mining. Looks like we got some stuff in some caves. I totally forgot about... I totally forgot this bit, if this is the next bit. Yes. Do you have a key that gets me into that door? Thank you, guy. Why do you have the key? Why does it have to be a locked door if there's just an NPC with a key, like 2 feet away from it? That's some weird design right there. Whatever. The Sand Sea must be real close. Or there's like maybe 10 minutes of dungeoning. Or not dungeoning. Okay. Real close, real close. Hey, here, we made it to the sand sea. As the lady just said, the water's all gone, it's all sand now. As you know, deserts are all oceans. When they dry up, just replaced by sand. It used to be a really cool port, and now it's just a little bit of a little bit of a ruins. Cool, we made it. I reckon that, yeah, the flame will be that way. I reckon as a small thought, as far as how I'm gonna split this up, this might be a whole big area, and if it is, you know, I'll put a timestamp when I get to the actual like sailing, because yeah, there's like a whole sailboats aspect to this. Not like a sailboat, it's a whole thing. That's where this area becomes really cool. How about another card? Been watching random Shark Tank clips, and also a bit of the UK equivalent, Dragon's Den, as I've been watching a bunch of clips from the one show. The other ones have just been showing up in my recommendations. I'll say, by the way, just looking at Dragon's Den, which I am given to understand is like one of the predates Shark Tank and sort of was the original one of those. It's not as good, is it? I've watched a few clips and they've all been really low energy. They've all just been for the most boring inventions of all time, and the so-called dragons have just been not exactly very like incisive. I guess that is a thing in like American reality TV versus UK reality TV, is that the Brits are generally nicer than our reality TV figures, but you know, at certain points, someone's sitting there in front of you saying like, I'd like to put flashing lights on stop signs, and I think that's going to be great. It's gonna make them a lot more readable. Here, see, I got this stop sign and I put on the pole a flashing light, and since you can see the flashing lights are sort of going downwards, you know that means stops. Here's another one. This is a one-way sign. On this sign, I'm putting flashing lights, and you can see that the flashing lights are going downward. And that way, you know, when you see these lights, you know that it means one way. And they didn't even stop to say like, wait, you just said, so flashing lights means stop and one way? How the fuck is this supposed to be more readable than a goddamn sign? This as a pitch, it was like the worst thing ever, and they, you know, obviously they didn't fight on it, but at the same time, they didn't call it off as being the... They didn't exactly fully deconstruct what they were looking at and point out like the 100 bad things about it, just like 2. Anyway, I'll also say that the YouTube game, as far as whoever puts up their YouTube clips of Shark Tanks, they're not like the best edited. The audio typically has like problems, and there's weird like editing choices, like videos ending a second or two too late or too early, you know, or like this in the middle of a sentence basically, or in the middle of where, yeah, I would do a better job if I were the one putting up those videos, and I don't know that much about video editing per se. I just know that you watch it before you put it up, and you make sure that all the cuts look good and they have what you want on either side of the cuts. You know, you probably at least check the transitions before you put it up, but I guess the thing is, they don't give a fuck, and you know, their show's so good that people watch it, including myself, even if whoever puts it up on YouTube isn't doing like the hottest job. And they also occasionally just put literally what happens in the thing in the title of the clip, like, oh, Robert makes a big deal all the sharks don't like this one. And you're just looking at that going like, well, now I know what's gonna happen. That's like half of the drama of it. You don't know if you're looking at some crap or something good. And the fact that you put that in the title spoils the whole thing, genius, but I'll watch it. I got nothing better to do. That's basically how I go into these things. I'll also say of Shark Tank, it is funny to consider, right? Like, the way Shark Tank is, most of what they can understand and most of what they can deal with are like little as seen on TV gadgets and gizmos and stuff like that. Not really anything that will be like super revolutionary or super big, you know? You look at the biggest success story off Shark Tank, and it is a guy who made a sponge. And it's a better sponge than all the other sponges. And hey, that's cool to be the best sponge that's ever been made. Like, with like quality of life features that are good and smartly done. But, you know, as far as things that actually make a difference or actually are worthwhile, fact is, I don't think that the sharks really can recognize that. Yeah, and if they did, even if they did, they would be too busy trying to like underpay for it, that they wouldn't get any action on that. I think famously, the most famous example is that Ring, under a different name, came up on the thing, and they all were too busy trying to go low that they ended up not getting in on Ring, which later sold for like $1 billion. Like, that's more successful than probably everything what's been on Shark Tank put together, insofar as revenue goes, and they didn't see that it was worth paying for. They could have. They absolutely could have. They didn't. Anyway, it's just a bit of a fun show, and you get to see weird, as seen on TV, things get pitched. Sometimes they're ridiculous and dumb, and other times they're alright. Wait, is this an area that we actually have to explore? Or did all we have to do is run up to the boat? Don't tell me all we have to do is run up to the boat. And there's the boat. All we had to do is run up to the boat and... Damn it. Well... That was a lovely 10 minutes of looking around. But now we're at the boat. Okay, crap. Could have just ran up to the boats. It wasn't even a whole area to explore. Now was it? Neru's Flame? Yeah, I'm looking for that. So you can see now that around this boat and time crystal is a circle of water. So pirates have seized the ship on which the flame lies. We must retrieve it. We will help him out. Yes, let's go. Okay, so we have to go, like... Alright, sailing time! It's sailing time. Turns out, I didn't have to run around the harbor for a while. I could have just went directly here. It's time to sail. Let's see. You can move RZ to, there? So can I, like, get out and go for a swim in this perfectly good water? Oh, right. You push forward to accelerate. And you can use B to turbo. But if you don't push in a direction, you won't go anywhere. Cool. So yeah, this is pretty cool bits. You got this like open ocean, except beyond the ring, it turns to total desert, which is real damn neat, and it really gives it like this whole section like a fun nautical feel. Fun nautical feel as you like sail around to these little islands. Skipper's Retreat. Alright, dude. Can we not go for a swim? Huh. I was hoping that we could, like, jump in the water and, like, swim around for 2 seconds. That'd be fun. But, whatever. Yeah! Beautiful. Anyway, let's go ahead and start doing some good old-fashioned adventuring. Do a save. This is maybe the most conceptually cool area, and also it is just a lot of sailing to a couple isolated little adventure zones that are all relatively light, while also having, you know, the good adventure business to them. You know, you're still dealing with the crystals, the time crystals in each of these zones. Can we just bypass this guy? Yeah, but it will be annoying. These guys exist in the sand present. Huh. Previously, in other parts of Lanayru, these guys only exist in the forest past. It's interesting that these two games both use I say these two games. This game uses the same clawshot thing that Twilight Princess did. In much the same way, in fact. I guess once you have, like, the new... Wait, can I just do this? No. Once you have a new, better way for your hookshot type weapon to work... Haha, eat shit. Once you have a new, better way for your hookshot weapon to work, why not just have that be the way going forward? I guess I'll bet that if they do hookshot again, it'll just be a hookshot. It won't be anything weird. It'll just be like, no, it's like Ocarina. No one remembers. Skyward Sword is no longer Skyward Sword Silent Princess, no longer the main one that comes to mind for people as far as a hookshot goes, because it's, you know, no longer recent. Now it's an old game, but one without the tons and tons of nostalgia that the earlier games are and like prestige that the oldest ones have. Ocarina is a prestigious game. About as prestigious as Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were. Maybe even more so. There are people out there that say, you recently replayed this game? That's nice, dude. There are people that say that Ocarina basically invented a genre. And they're probably right. Like, yeah, first 3D adventure action game, right? Basically. First one that was worth a damn. I mean, I'll say most games aren't like Ocarina, even in that, like, that space. But still was, like, super influential, super super beloved. First, that was good for the most part. I'm talking about Ocarina. This is a one-way, I think. These are one-way things. I want to pull this filler down. Oh, I thought I could just grapple this bird down to my level. I guess I just have to, like, wait. Why is not Link using a shield? Here, use a shield, Link. Okay, you gotta wait until tail comes out. I should have healed. That's what I should have done. Yeah. Woo, we're pretty far back. We'll just leg it. It'll be fine. Anyway, I got these cards. I'll just do one of them. Cards have things on them that I've been looking to talk about since I, you know, do things off stream. Like to have a way of remembering them all. This card says, I went to Nebraska Furniture Store. Y'all don't know Nebraska Furniture Store. It's a really, really big furniture store that is named after the state? Nebraska is a state, right? I think it's a state. Named after the state is quite large. They have a big selection of, you know, just about all your standard housing needs. I've been looking on account of I'm doing a move in a, it is a state. I'm moving in a couple of, in like 2 months, and I need to get like a kitchen table type situation once I'm in the new place, because the new place has like a dining room to take advantage of, or like a dining room space. It's not like a huge space, but it is like a little nook. The apartment is. Rather than just having a, wait. Oh, it's a whip situation. This is a whip situation. Oh, and the whip even destroys the fire. That's nice. You know what? Also, this is helpful just insofar as, like, this reminds you that whips exist so that you can remember to use it on this, which is a thing that you've never whipped before. I've never whipped a thing that looked like that before, but, making me use the whip right before this shows up makes me remember to use it. Anyway, sort of just looked around Nebraska Furniture Store, which I'll say is very, very nice. I think they're a very good store with a lot of very, very nice pieces. I'll say I was kind of surprised insofar as, like, Nebraska does have a lot of relatively affordable... They do have a lot of relatively affordable, like, tables and stuff, comparable with the prices I was seeing at IKEA. Where, yeah, okay, you can get, like, oh, you can get this one for... You can get a lot of the ones they have for, like, 1,000 or less. Then again, you'd also walk around and you'd see, like, oh, this looks like a really nice table. Oh, it's $4,000. Yeah, I don't think I'll get one for $4,000. I don't care about dining tabling. I don't care about tables that much, quite that much, but that looks fine. It seems comfortable if you don't mind paying quite that much. But that said, the ones that were, like, in that affordable range were perfectly fine, honestly, and for the price... For the price, they seemed very reasonable, and perhaps also probably of a higher quality than you could find at IKEA, as much as I love IKEA. So, I don't know, maybe I'll go there. when it comes time to get actual when it gets closer to the move. Are you playing on the Switch? Yes, this is the HD version of the game. That should be what the category is under. This is the Switch version. That is correct. I'll say, brand on, you're on the YouTube side. For those on the Twitch side, there's a channel point thing that can make me go over to the motion controls. That's, for context, for those on the YouTube side, channel points are like a Twitch feature where people gain points for watching, and for a certain amount, they can make me do, like, things. Like, maybe if you've seen, oh, hey, it's vacuum time. Or, sorry, gust bellows time. If you've seen some of the Mario Maker streams, you might see me occasionally switch characters because of channel points. That sort of thing. I'm curious if anyone will redeem that at any point. I'm just leaving that option up there. And, you know, I'll say I reckon that the controller controls are probably a lot easier on the arms, easier on the, easier in a lot of ways, so I don't mind to use them, but would be interesting. Anyway, Nebraska is a lot like a minefield where you're just walking around and there's beautiful furniture everywhere, and you look at some and it's like, oh, this is affordable, and you look at others and you go like, oh, this is like 5 times more than I want to pay for something like this. Okay, and you just have to like go, okay, not looking at that, nope, nope, nope. That's a large crew of robots. The image would indicate that the ship's captain spent many happy days among his many crew members. This image would indicate that the ship's captain spent many happy days among his many crew members. Okay, yes, that is very... I guess, if you take a photo, you gotta be good. The boss is among those? They all look like the little robots that you see everywhere. The boss is among those. Let me zoom in. Like there? What's with these? What are these got? What are those? Are those like not included? Not sure what that indicates. I guess some of these look a little bit bigger. But they're all like regular robot sized. They're doing a little bit of a Titanic there. Top left. Yeah, that guy does look a little bigger. Huh. That's a fun fact. Thanks for the fun fact. He's a robot and he's... You shouldn't open things. That's... Okay. Weirdest time for Zelda for the game to be moralizing about not opening other people's things. 1, it's a robot. 2, he's dead. He's been dead for thousands of years. It's a dead robot that existed thousands of years in the past. I think he'll be fine if we mess a little bit with his things. I don't think he'll mind so much. He'll live with it. Also, he sent us up to go get something, and I hope I got it. The entire part of the area is taking something of his. Yes! It is! He wanted me to grab, I don't remember what. I hope it was to look at a picture. Yes, okay, we got the sea chart, apparently. Maybe it was a digital sea chart. Oh. I must have gotten it from the chest or something when I wasn't thinking about it. Okay. So here's the sea chart. And we can see there's a whole another area here. Don't think it'd be that hard to find. Even without the map, this area... It's not the biggest sea you've ever seen in a Zelda game. You know? Kind of a very shallow water sea, too. Like, you look around, and the water's only deep enough where you can see the bottom of it. What is it? What is it? Are you telling me... Oh, I got a dowsing option for hearts. That's actually... I guess every time I've been low on hearts, I've been ignoring her. I thought she was going to tell me not to hit explosive barrels with my ship. I don't need to be told not to hit explosive barrels with my ship. I know that ships and explosive barrels don't mix. Just gonna take her around here. And here we are. Next adventure zone. Shipyard. There's like a little minecart trail here. They do mix, their debris do. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I think we're gonna do like a minecart ride. Tears of the Kingdom style. That's fun. Yes, I can see the entrance is closed. Scorpion boss fight afterwards. I believe it. I'll say I am replaying this game. I played it before, so you know, I'm not that too bothered by spoilers, or honestly, some amount of backseating is fine as well. Don't mind it. I should remember where to go roughly. And if I don't, it's just, you know, the years and memory. But it's not my first time around, so it's not like, oh, I need to be pure or something, you know? I am low. I'm gonna grab this guy's tail. Okay, I'm low again. Good. Good. How about another card while we're making our way through this area? Have y'all seen this thing? It's a beanbag / dog bed for humans combination. I saw this thing at the Nebraska. Apparently, it's like a beanbag chair, and you sort of like unpack it, and it becomes what is very clearly, I mean, look at it, very clearly a dog bed. Very clearly like a giant dog bed. And they were positioning it like in like the video. Apparently it was on Shark Tank at some point. To go back to Shark Tank for a bit. And they were positioning in the video that was playing at the Nebraska like, oh, it's like a mattress for guests. People can get on this this guest mattress. They can have a nice relaxing sleep, and then afterwards it just becomes a chair. Which sounds cool in theory, but whoopsie daisy. Extra card there. It is just a dog bed, and I laid on it at the Nebraska, and yeah, I think that an actual dog bed would be softer. I think that my, one second. I think that my dad's dog, Dixie, she has a softer dog bed than that thing. But I guess the question then is, well, is it better than those crap fold-out mattresses that exist, that fold out of couches that people have? I slept on one of those last year for a couple days, and oh my god, the metal bar just bored into my back. It was terrible, but I had to live with it. I don't know, maybe it was a better dog bed. It'd be fine, but it is not a great dog bed, I'll say, and I reckon that it is the kind of thing that when you actually lay on it, it's just like, ooh, this, no, this isn't it. This ain't right. You would just go home. Feather mattresses are good. You just gotta find one. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the question I feel like this would be for is like when you have guests, you have a guest room. You have guests, but you don't want to have a guest room, essentially, because who has in their home room for a whole extra room to just have guests in occasionally? I'll say when I get a place, I have zero plans of having a guest room. Like, I don't know. I don't foresee anyone ever wanting to stay over at my place. One word, couch. Yeah. I don't have, like, the kind of couch you can lie across is my thing. I don't have that kind of couch. I just have a regular reclining couch. I guess you could sleep on a reclining couch. I mean, I lay back and recline on it all the time, and I like that. But it'd be weird, though. You gotta get a blanket and pillows. Yeah, it wouldn't be quite the same as a bed. Wait, what did he say? Oh, he'd love to race them one day. So, we gotta lean like away. That just... It's like you lean away and from the direction it's turning, right? I don't... Not sure. Yeah, lean in the direction it's turning, like, so right here. I think is right. I don't foresee anyone ever wanting to stay at my place. No. I got, if family ever comes to visit, there's plenty of other people with houses. You know, my sister has a guest room. My parents will have a guest room, I'm sure. And those are they're more likely to entertain guests, being, you know, multiple people already living in there. I don't see that ever being the case for me. Who would build a structure in this way? What, like, towers upon towers upon towers? They're funny robots. It is a good question of, like, why did you build all your stuff, like, so separated like this? Connected by funny rails. And maybe it was, like, just natural spires originally, and they built it out into towers or something. And then, like, carved the faces to be uniform shapes. If not for the very strict robot aesthetics, you know, this could be a very natural cove type thing. Make bridges? Yeah, like, this would be a kind of place where you'd find, like, Jungle Canyon rope bridges. You know, like Avatar has. The second Avatar, the one that's by the sea. I would picture more like that than like this. Or Donkey Kong in the Mario movie. Donkey Kong's area in the Mario movie was kind of a water area. I guess that's a bad example because Donkey Kong does have minecarts and such in a similar style. I have no idea here which one is correct. How come it's not going fast anymore? There we go. Somehow curves make it go faster. That's the opposite of how a minecart should work. Curves should make it go slower, and then straightaways should make it go faster. These robots, I don't know, man. I don't know what they were thinking with this whole minecart system. Not the most practical minecart solution. It's also one way. This one in particular. Once you go here, you have to use rewind to get it back to where it started. And most people don't have the ability to rewind. God, that's one thing that makes this sort of thing work a lot better in Tears of the Kingdom. The fact that you can just rewind after you get to the bottom of a thing and just be like, I'm going back up. I'm gonna have another shot at that. I knew I fell like a ding-dong, but it'll be better. Hey, we're at the shipyard. Literal god power. Yeah, the goat was a god. Was he not? You're right, the goat was a god. The arm goat. He was sort of a god. Maybe not on the level of like, you know, 4-4 Din, Naryu. But a minor deity at any rate. Yes. Look, I'll say, for what it's worth, a lot of the powers, a lot of the items in Zelda, they're from the gods. The gods have a big hand in things. I got these hook shots from the gods. These are claw shots from the gods. Pretty literally. So, jot that down. A god gave me these claw shots. What did the other god give me? The previous god gave me the ability to swim. That one wasn't as good. Really good swimming powers. Sure, okay, god. Whatever. What's the last god gonna give me? What if the gods of Zelda didn't intervene? Oh, here's the scorpion. It'd probably be bad. There's not a Zelda game where the message is that interference is bad. Interference seems to generally help the world of Hyrule not get overtaken by Ganon. Sometimes the gods are foolish, or, you know, or the sages are, or someone underestimates Ganon, but that's not... If they just did nothing, that would be even worse than like, fucking up at containing Ganon or something. Funny claw balls. Is Demise considered a, god, demon, or minor deity? That's for those who are playing at home. Demise is a character that we will meet later in the game. Right? Or, I guess maybe we've already met. I would say Demise is like an incarnation of evil. Like, the evil what would become Ganondorf in later games, kinda. Well, isn't the imprisoned one technically Demise? Evil himself? He's like a more elemental evil. I would hesitate to call him a deity. but he does make it a habit of becoming one. Without intervention, Demise is a deity. With intervention, he's just dead. And Link always intervenes. Okay, this place sucks. There's just a scorpion here. No ship, no clues. Yeah, I mean, why would you... If you're looking for clues on where a ship is, going to the factory isn't going to be that helpful. All they can tell you is, yeah, we built it here. We used this many screws. It cost this much. These are the specs. Here you go. I mean, I guess if there was some way to, like, detect the ship here, or, like, a homing device, that would be helpful, but there isn't, so there's not. Good deal. I think there's one more island to hop to, and then we'll be off to the dungeon. We're making good time, on the whole. I mean, obviously, a stream can go as long or short as needed. I always do these streams now on days where I'm on days where I go to the office, like, not on the day after, so I'm working from home tomorrow. Let's say, for sake of example. So I can sleep a little later. His servant turns into a dark master sword, which was created by the goddess. Yeah. Yeah, so, That is true that he seems to have a knack for creating beings that are on that level. Oh, the where we need to go is, turns out, what were we doing over there? We're looking for clues to where to look. How about we go to, like, the other one place on the map? Whatever, doesn't matter. There's only like 4 places in the sea, to be fair, so we could just check all of them. His servant is kind of a dark version of it. Yeah, totally. There's totally a dark version of Fee. It's funny that you don't realize he's a sword until... Yeah. I'll say, again, spoilers. And I'm replaying it, so... I know. And hopefully, no one watching this later on or whatever, if anyone watches it later on, is, too minor. It is like 14 years old, that's true. I don't know, it came out on Switch like 2 years ago. This Switch version is only like 2-3 years old. I guess I'll say that the plot... Look, this is not the Zelda game whose plot you should be, like, super, like, it's not so good that you shouldn't spoil it, right? It's alright, but it's just some, like, it is, at the end of the day, just like, okay, there's Link, and there's, like, an evil force that is basically Ganondorf. And a lot of stuff happens, but basically at the end of the day, it's just Link versus Ganondorf. Nothing too interesting about that. Nothing too revolutionary. It hasn't the best narrative, that's right. I agree. Here's another card. Been sleeping pretty okay, mostly. So I've been sleeping. You know, I've had a regular schedule now where I get up around like 7:30 on a day where I need to go into the office, and around 8:30 on a day where I don't. Hybrid, you know. And that's been working out pretty well for me. I have been staying up pretty late on most days, like maybe 1, 2, or 3 a.m. But somehow still waking up in the morning feeling refreshed and ready to go, so go figure. And of course, having a big old breakfast once in the morning helps a lot. Right before I started my new job, I sort of like lapped around, you know, sort of stayed up long enough where I started getting up too early rather than too late, you know, sort of. I stayed up until 8 a.m., stayed up until noon, stayed up until 2 p.m., until such time as, staying up until 6 p.m., and then staying up until 8 p.m. Now I'm back at a point where I'm staying up until 2 or 3 in the morning, but also I've been able to maintain a certain amount of getting up in the morning on weekdays, sleeping in maybe until like 11 at the latest on weekends. And I think that is a pretty healthy place to be so long as it's sustainable. And hopefully it continues to be. I did just get, you know, the Apple Watch, and it's going to tell me maybe to sleep more. Like a good 6 hours. Maybe. What are we doing? What's the deal here? This big mouth. Oh, there's a door right here. Perfect. You think Demise is the antithesis of Hylia? Maybe. I can see that, except that I just think Demise is like, just Gandorf's evil spirits incarnate. Just one part of the trifecta of, like, there will be a Ganondorf, there will be a Link, there will be a Zelda. And because there's 2 of the good ones, then there'll always be one of the bad ones. And the bad one will always lose as a result. Next card. I'm looking forward to some stuff. Obviously, I just got the watch, but I got a bunch of other shit in the mail, or coming up soon. I got the Asus ZenBook Duo, which is a very nice dual-screen laptop. Show that on screen for a second. Ooh, it's nice. Turned into a regular laptop if you want it to be, and it's pretty well spec'd out as far as, like, having a really good chipset, having, like, ton of storage, everything I could possibly want. 120 hertz, ports for days, lovely touchscreen. It's pretty cool, and I think it's gonna be a hell of a game changer when it comes to going into the office to work and do other such things, right? It's gonna be fun to occasionally set that up. I say fun. It's gonna be nice to set that up in like a common area and get some work done on a laptop rather than in like the bullpen type scenario. I'm also moving in April. That'll be fun. Really looking forward to that. The new place is gonna be a lot better than this place. And I got big plans. And after that, kinda have nothing. Like, I feel like I've bought everything I can think of buying. I got everything lined up that I think I could think of getting. And the next thing that I want to do after that will be a trip to Japan. In, like, say, mid-fall. Maybe, like, September, October. Oh, this door's open. I didn't notice that door was open. Good looking out, Brandon. Sometimes I'm confused and I don't know what to do. Thank you, thank you. I like it. I like that feeling of like, oh, there's something new coming around the corner. There's something exciting just about to hit. And I feel like after I get the laptop, after I move, it's gonna be pretty straightforward for a while. You know, there's not gonna be another next big thing. I'll have bought everything I can think to buy. I'll have no new tchotchkes to play around with. Maybe there'll be some new video games or something to play because I'm thinking it'll just be a more laid-back, relaxing time. Which, hey, that's not bad either. I mean, I'll say there's other things that I'll be getting. Like, once I get an apartment, new apartment, I'm gonna get more furniture. I'm going to set up my stream setup in a way. Ooh, this is nice. Carry it around. Oh, this is cool. It's a portable time stone. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna set up my my stream setup. I love these colors. I'm gonna set up my stream setup such that I can do a green screen setup. This part is annoying though. Oh, I guess I could see that. It's sort of like the part in Twilight Princess where you have an orb and you have to sort of escort it back. Except in this case, the orb is cool and it does cool things. So it's kind of low-key good. Yee. What happens if I blow this guy? Nothing. Okay, how about claw shots? Oh, you know what? I can totally... Can I not recoil him out of... Okay, cool, I can. Sword? You can sometimes use other things to do battles. I have found with those guys, you can stun them with the slingshots, except that takes, you know, ammo, and I don't necessarily want to blow through all my ammo. In fact, I only have 5 of those, so I'm sort of limited insofar as how much I can do that. I'll say, of my plans, long-term plans, after I've moved in and done up furniture stuff for a while, it'll be pretty slow going for a while, just, you know, working and streaming and working and streaming and playing games when they come out. And that'll be fun, and I'll look forward to that, but eventually it'll be time for a big vacation trip, and I'm thinking Japan will be that. I'm gonna look to do like, say 2 to 3 weeks in Japan. I kind of want to do 3 weeks. I want to do more, especially because I want to fit in like 3 theme park days among that trip. So a longer trip would be conductive to that. Have I heard of a Megamind sequel? No, I haven't. I actually never seen the first Megamind, actually. Never saw it. If it's on, I don't know if it was ever on a streaming platform that I could watch. It's been all over YouTube. What, the original movie or the news of the sequel? That's interesting. That's like DreamWorks, the same guys that make Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon. Huh. I guess they're done with How to Train Your Dragon. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they are. I think they're done with Kung Fu Panda. So I guess the question would be, what are they doing next? Why not that? Yeah. Hopefully it's cool. Hey. I'm happy for those who are into that. I really liked How to Train Your Dragon. I think I tried watching the second one on a plane, and I didn't get through it. But I really love the Kung Fu Panda movies. All those are fantastic, are phenomenal. Which way did we come from in this? My map. It's weird how chests stay on the map even after you, I get the feeling this is the wrong way. Yeah, it's gotta be through there. Anyway, it's gonna be a nice trip. My plan right now, I would actually really like to just try to do, during that span, probably something like, I don't know, a stream or 2 or 3, maybe like 1 stream a week from Japan while I'm over there. And, you know, my new laptop will be powerful enough where that won't be an issue for it. And I can definitely bring, like, my capture card and do, like, a Mario Maker stream, you know, from there. The question is, internet, can I do it internet-wise? Would that be feasible? And not 100% sure about that, but it's a fun idea, and if it were possible logistically, I would love to do that. When I'm traveling, you know, there's a time at the end of the day where I'm just all tuckered out, can't walk no more, gotta go back to the hotel and just chill for a while, and such times would be perfectly good for like short streams of maybe like an hour or 2 or 3, maybe like 2, maybe like a little over 2, I would guess. They should have stopped any story they had when they reached a satisfying conclusion that they can leave alone as far as movies go. Yeah. I mean, if they have an idea for a new one that is, like, good. I need to get this thing out of here before I push the block. Oh, no problem, Brandon. That is a perfectly fair length of post. Don't worry about it. I feel ya. A good ending is a good ending, and I think that, you know, Kung Fu Panda has had several of those, and it's perfectly fine to leave it as is. And I would hazard a guess that probably also, where else would you go with How to Train Your Dragon? You know, they've sort of explored the whole family there. I wouldn't mind for How to Train Your Dragon like a sequel that was set like ages later, you know, like years later. Say if like it's the main characters from How to Train Your Dragon, but they're like adults now, and they're like dealing with the next generation. Would that be anything? I don't know if that'd be anything, because the next generation would be already on board with dragons. And I think that they probably did like a whole... They saved all dragons or something in the sequel. I don't know. I don't know that there's... Maybe there's nowhere else to go in that universe, even if you did time jump and did like How to Train Your Dragon the Next Generation. If you want a sequel, set it up for a sequel. That's fair. I think several of the best movies end that way. But then again, what if it fails and you don't get to make it? That's something that many shows have had. Cliffhanger endings that end up being just nothing. Like, Last Man on Earth, just finished that a few weeks ago. And that ends on a cliffhanger because they thought they might get a season 5 and they didn't. I would say, personally, it's better to end on a satisfying note so that if you don't get a sequel, it's not weird. But if you are reasonably sure that the sequel is in the cards, then as much, you know, having loose ends to go off of does help a lot. Find something new and creative that will. Oh, I know. Ha 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 ha. This is a cool puzzle. Smart puzzle here. Making you place the things such that this is accessible. That's clever. We could probably just run past these guys, but it's relatively easy to just blow them. And stab, stab, stab. These guys can't even get us while we're, like, outside of their... Can't even get us when we're outside of their range. They're just gonna become inanimate statues. Oh, do I have to kill them? Probably have to kill them. Leave a lot up for interpretation. Set up so that you can do a sequel with a satisfying ending. I will say there are some shows and things where I feel like it's better off An ending can be ambiguous without being, like, perfect for a sequel. I think a perfect example of that is, The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland? What's it called? Is it called The Promised Neverland? Where it was set up where, oh, they got away, but will they make it? Who knows? And then the sequel season, the second season, sort of tells that story, and it sucks because it turns out, like, oh, this sucks. It's better just to think like, oh, do they make it? I don't know, maybe not, but what if they did? And then to actually see that ends up sucking. Good night, Brandon. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Promised Neverland? Yeah, that's right, The Promised Neverland. Didn't sound right when I said it. Bye, dude. Have a good one. And all. What is this place, anyway? I feel like I don't know what this place is. Just like a giant whale in the middle of the ocean. Not sure what the deal is with this place. The time shift orb. Cool, because of the electricity, we can only go out this way, so forces us to go this route, which will be more interesting, I bet, in ways. Oh, well, no, it just makes us go out the front door rather than the side door. Side door is, oh, gone, also. They got rid of the side door. Okay, that explains it. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if we're about to get to the ship, but I feel like this was the last. Oh, we got some sails, and now she can douse on the sails. Yeah, there we go. That's the solution. You think they would have sails at the factory? Now that I know what she was looking to do, looking at the factory makes a little more sense. I forgot about the dousing thing that she do. So many of Link's troubles are solved with dousing. Hey, buddy. Let's find that ship. That'll be the dungeon. We're about 2 hours in. Very nice. Probably gonna be like mobile, so can we not steer? It's harder to steal, I guess, when we're like in first person. You can't do camera controls while you're in boat mode. Gotta like sort of so you can't see like you know, you can't get a nice camera angle on this whole situation. You can do can stuff. Let's go ahead and go. Oh, you know what? It's they're like, it's like I'm in first person, but I still have to hold forward to go forward, or whatever direction I want the ship to sail in. Very weird ship. Controls. I got a feeling it's gonna be right here. Where'd it go? Okay. Seems like it's... Hang on. It seems like it's moving. So, how exactly do I, Seems like we ran into it for a second. But also, as I shift back to regular mode, it's not there. It is a ship, so it's like sailing around. Hey, Fee, what's going on? Hint me. Thank you. How do I make the ship appear? Okay. I feel like shooting it has to be the way. But also, every time we get close... There we go. Okay, we gotta shoot it, but not ram into it. Also, you know what? The aiming tracker sort of gets all wonky when it's right up against the ship. Sort of ends up floating in midair. That's the key. I wonder if there's any strategy where you just start by going approximately where it is and start looking for where the tracker gets all screwy. Where the aiming gets screwy. That'd be a fun way to, like, speedrun it or something. I don't know. Maybe that's impossible for reasons. Alright, we have sailed around for a while, done some ocean stuff out there, and now it is time to, you know, do some stuff aboard a ship. I do think that was probably the best. Oh, what the hell? You don't get to hang out on the pier? Thought you get to hang out on this cool little pier here. Go talk to my buddy. No, that whole area doesn't exist. I mean, I guess it is a long walk to just exist if it did. It's time to do the sand ship. That's very cool. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Sand ship. Let's go. I do think sailing on the open waters was a cool bit. Maybe a cooler idea than anything, but I do think each of those 4 little areas that we went to, 3 or 4 little areas, were independently perfectly good, perfectly light, perfectly fun little zones. Can't go wrong with them, can't get lost in them. And the conceit of switching back and forth between the past and the present, I definitely feel like this is the best place for it in the game, unless... I can't remember if the final Lanayru trip has anything quite as cool as the sea. I think the sea is kind of the highlight of Lanayru. And I also think that Lanayru is kind of the highlight of the game, so... naturally the sea is sort of the best part. I do think it could have had a little more pizzazz, a little more visual interest. Obviously, as seas go, it doesn't quite stand up to the Wind Waker Sea, like even a little bit. But it does have a whole dungeon set in a pirate ship, and that's something that even Wind Waker cannot say. Wind Waker could have used a whole. I think that here's my theory. Here's my ever theory. I think that one of the 2 dungeons that was cut from Wind Waker. They've said before that there were 2 dungeons cut from Wind Waker. It's obvious to say something like, "Oh yeah, you got the water dungeon that the fish would have, and one for I don't know." Actually, don't know what the other one would be. That would be obvious. It's obvious to say that one, but for the other one, I think the best candidate would be like, oh, the ghost ship in Wind Waker could have been an actual dungeon and could have basically just had the Triforce in it. And I think if it did, that would have been really cool. They have said that the dungeons that were cut did get like recycled into other games. You know, did eventually come and their ideas got reworked. So I think this one is a pretty prime candidate for probably maybe originally a Wind Waker idea. Of course, there is like a central mechanic here where I guess the ghost ship is a ship of the dead, so you could imagine it also being a ship of beings that used to exist long ago, and there could be a time travel component to that idea as well, so obviously I'm not going to say that it would be exactly this dungeon. The bow as a dungeon item would maybe... Obviously, you already had it in Wind Waker by the time of the end game. When was the bow in Wind Waker gotten? Trying to think. What dungeon had the bow in it? Shield was in the earth. In the wind dungeon was the hook shot. Working backwards. It was the Tower of the Gods that had the bow, I think. As a pirate ship in the past here, I like the idea that you know, the whole pirate ship changes. You got the musty old exterior that does have a lot in common with the Lanayru mines. I feel like if you didn't have Lanayru mines as like the opening to the whole mechanic of time travel, this dungeon would be a lot more punchy if this was the first area where the time thing came into play. But, you know, being the best version of that, I still think it's worth giving the accolades. I mean, I guess I'll also say that I feel like in some, yes, in the past, in the future here it's sealed up, but in the past it's not. I got it. I've often said stuff like, oh, I wish dungeon item would come back. And this game at least is very good at being like, okay, the bellows, you're gonna use it again. It'll come up again in a dungeon that is very similar to the first one that you used it in. Yes, this dungeon, this item is not worthless now. That's smart. Smart design. How about another card? Did you watch the Sonic 3 teaser and pick up on the music? I'll say I didn't really understand what people were talking about, but apparently there's just a little bit of the motif for Live and Learn in the Sonic 3 teaser trailer, which, by the way, does put a heavy emphasis on, like, spoilers for Sonic 2. That movie's really old, and also it's in the logo. Yo, Shadow the Hedgehog, gonna be a huge part of the third of the movie. Also, you know, I saw there's been some stuff. People have been talking. Looks like they're doing Sonic Adventure 2. Rouge the Bat is gonna be in it. There's gonna be Mary, the girl from Shadow's past. Live and Learn by Fresh 40 is confirmed. Which, fucking hell yeah. I love that. I love that. I love Sonic Adventure 2. I love Live and Learn. That's good news. That's exactly what I was hoping for. I hope it's just literally the plot of Sonic Adventure 2. You don't need to change a damn thing. You don't need to rethink it at all. Just do Sonic Adventure 2 exactly as is, but with, you know, Sonic Movie Sonic and Knuckles. And you did introduce Rouge the Bat, you introduced Shadow, who will be played by I don't know who. What was the idea that I had? The guy who plays Bane? Is he still doing stuff? There were some funny ideas that were kicking around, that I kicked around on this channel, and I'm sure others have kicked around elsewhere. I hope they get someone who is like, makes you go, oh god, you got him, but is also legitimately good to have as an actor. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good one. I love Sonic. I thought the first Sonic movie was very good, and I really very much enjoyed how much more the second Sonic movie leaned into the cartoon stuff. There was a little less of Sonic's cop friend and a little more of Sonic's extended crew as far as that goes. What is this? What are we looking at? So this is the top. So, well, what order does it go in? Oh, well, 1 down. Down, up, down, right. Down, up, down, right. I got it. Down, up, down, right. It's weird because I'm actually have to swing in the other direction to hit the thing. So I'm swinging to the left. That's hard to do and say. Ugh. There's gonna be the bow? Really? Oh, it's just a key. We gotta fight a boss before we get a bow. A mini boss, at least. Here's another card. Did you hear about the Starfield PS4 version hubbub? There's a whole bunch of fucking shit because it got out that Starfield is probably definitely going to come to PlayStation 4 and, you know, probably Switch as well. Apparently there's a bunch of there's still apparently a whole console war crew out there, and you know, that is like invested in the console war existing, and the fact that Microsoft doesn't give a fuck about exclusives anymore fucking pushed them off fucking edge. There was this really funny tweet. I don't see tweets that much, but when they are posted on Discord, sometimes I see them. There's a funny tweet saying, where this guy was like, oh yeah, just like 4 names you've never heard of are angry. Let me read it to you. This'll be good. I bet you will like me to read a tweet to you. Where was that? Let me find it. People have been talking in this channel that I saw it in since I saw it, so I guess I gotta scroll for a bit. Now let me find it over here. Different place, different place. People have been chatting here as well. Okay. Makes it hard to find. Xbox has lost Tim Dog. Xbox might lose Clobrilly. Risk Kid is unhappy. So many have messaged me saying they're leaving Xbox consoles. This is a nightmare. As far as I know, I cannot find a human who has heard of any of those people. Another person tweeted, this is object torture. Xbox has lost Dipstick. Xbox has lost Sacrep. Skyworm is upset. Foreskin Valorskin is threatening to buy a Nintendo Switch. Rumors that shit on all these walls was seen at Target. Buying playing cards. Good jokes, good jokes. Ridiculous thing. And, I feel like as a adult who has had held consoles for like the last, say, nearly 20 years? Is that true? Yeah, I had a PlayStation, not quite, more like 15, but geez, yeah, I got an Xbox 360 and in 2006. I got a Wii in 2008 when they were a little more available. And then I got a PlayStation a few years after that. So yeah, like 15 years, maybe more like 12 if you count the PlayStation in on that. But I have not been a partisan since probably... My last partisan day was probably when I got a 360 and got off that Nintendo fanboy, like, mentality. So probably like, nearly 20 years ago. Yeah, I'll say nearly 20 years ago. Looking at the people who are still in on that, it just goes like, wow, I guess y'all are new. I guess y'all are the generation after us. You know, we were arguing about the GameCube and the PlayStation 2 back when I was in the console wars. And now you're arguing about what are very comparable platforms that have mostly the same games. That seems unnecessary to me, but, you know, do what you want. That's fine. Ooh. I'll say as far as, also, look at this, I saw this. I was looking for GIFs on, or GIFs, whichever way you say it. I don't care. I was looking for them, and for Starfield, because I sort of wanted to express the idea that I don't really think Starfield is that big of a deal anyway. It's not a great game, but I saw this GIF that was probably made by these Xbox people. These Xbox fanboys. These Xbox diehards, console war believers. And I just thought, like, it's funny to look at that picture of Hank Hill and realize, yeah, that picture of Hank Hill, he's smiling right now. He's happy. He now doesn't have to worry. Starfield will be coming to PlayStation, probably, according to rumors. And he can be just as disappointed as everyone on Xbox now. Won't that be nice? Maybe mods will make it better. I guess. Sure, tell yourself that. That'll solve everything. I mean, historically, modders have been able to solve everything. But at the same time, oh boy, I don't know that they solved Fallout 4. And, this is probably worse than Fallout 4. At least that's what I would say. I'll say, I like the Xbox a lot. If we're just talking a powerful console, it is my favorite. I prefer to the PlayStation a lot. I like Game Pass. I feel like I get a lot of fucking fantastic games off Game Pass. I feel like Xbox is now more in the Game Pass business than the exclusive business. And this sort of putting everything on everything helps their, fits in with that, I would say. And if it lets them make a little bit more money off these games that they're developing, mostly as Game Pass bolsters, then I think that's nice too. It's funny to realize that this console war is still going on and people still are weird about it. There's the guy in the cool captain. Oh, you're so scary, Captain. I know. Okay, we gotta put. This is a Belcher game. We're pushing him back. It's kind of shockingly easy. I'm just stabbing him. Normal style. Oh, and sometimes he sometimes just falls over when he misses. Oh, he's gonna have a second phase. Is the second phase just the first phase, but less of a runway? It's not terribly scary. Maybe it's like the... I mean, he is stabbing me pretty good here. How do I do the... Oh! Did that do 3? Feel like that did 3 hearts there. I was just, saying he ain't he's nothing to be scared of. Then I died. That's, yeah, I guess I shouldn't be, belittling Cool Captain Man. I guess he's the one robot who survived all the way to present day. The one robot who stuck around this whole time. That's pretty cool on itself. I don't know how he didn't turn to stone like everyone else. Also, why is he siding with the baddies? How do I do shield stuff? Alright, it's a left click. Do your shield. I backed up into the thing. Yeah, that's on me. Well, this guy is a tough customer. Wait. When did I drink my potion? I was just thinking maybe I should do the potion, but I guess I don't have one. Oh well. Another card? Follow up on Zelda story tier list. I thought about it more. So on Friday's stream, I did a Zelda story tier list. Was sort of thinking about what the best Zelda stories were, and ended up putting this one from this game into, I think, C tier. Like, it's alright, but it's nothing special. It has a few characters who are very fun, but it does also have a lot of forgettable bits, a lot of forgettable characters, and a lot of just bloats. Anyway, the rest of my list was pretty straightforward. Stuff like Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and S. You know, games where you care about every character who is in the game. Ocarina is a solid B, I think. You know, it's underrated, but it is pretty basic, all things considered at the end of the day. Even if it is basic because it became a template for other games later on. I think Breath of the Wild is one of the best ones. Ooh. Oh, I think Breath of the Wild is like a solid A tier. Maybe with an asterisk based around like how it was told. There we go. Anyway, I was thinking about that, and particularly about Tears of the Kingdom's placement. Damn it. Thinking about Tears of the Kingdom's placement on the list, and I had it as an A, same level as Breath of the Wild, and then I remembered how, while it has a really great ending, and a really great, like, core twist in the narrative, I then remembered, like, how when you're looking for Zelda in the early game, every dungeon that you beat has basically the same cutscene after it, where a guy is like, hey, let me tell you about the imprisoning war, and then says, I have no idea where Zelda is, where do you think she could be? And it's just so repetitive. It's bizarre that they didn't make it so that it was, say, a different cutscene based on whether it was your first dungeon or your fourth. Right? Like, yeah, I've heard all about the imprisoning war. I've kind of figured out where Zelda is. Well, that's not true, actually, come to think of it. I had not figured out where Zelda is until I did the Tears. But I knew where she went. I knew where she went. And that was more than what they could figure out based on the clues that were available to them, the NPCs. Which, kind of silly that they're like that, you know? Anyway, probably would lower it to at most a B. I would have to say at most a B for Tears of the Kingdom, based on all that plot business that really didn't work as well as it should, due to just some real lacking execution. Oh, you can just step back and that'll miss. Just fell right into the dirt. You'd expect him to have a Wilhelm scream fall like that. Jeez. It was the pirate described by the captain. Oh! So those were the pirates. They were the evil ones. Okay. Not part of the original crew. But the boss of the world was in the original crew, based on what viewer was telling me earlier. He was in the photo of like the whole cast of the whole crew. Yes, I understand how a bow works. Yes. I can shoot things. Okay, I'll shoot it from a good place. Whew. Very nice. Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's do the thing. Okay. So the next thing that happens here I will say I think this is one of the cooler second halves of a dungeon. Insofar as, like, yeah, just... The whole dungeon goes back, well... Not quite, but, the whole dungeon now... If only we can deliver an impact to that crystal, somehow, we could absolutely do a thing. And there we have it. We've now, made the time ship... Oh, so the pirates are Babobkins. Except for the chief pirate, who is a robot. Okay. I might have guessed that the whole everyone was a robot. But, Gandorf loves Babobkins. His favorite foot soldier. These guys don't even have the electric weapons. They're not even like the cool future Babobkins. I guess they live in the past, so they're not future Babobkins. They're like, techno Babobkins. These ones are more primitive. They didn't get the memo from the ones elsewhere. Okay, so it's sealed up from the other side here. So we can't get into there until we go up and do a thing. We can't, like... Oh, hey. Is that like a hit it once, go up, hit it twice, go down type situation? I think so. You cannot swim in this water. It's bad water. Eh? This will be important later. This thing right here. I think this is like a way back to get back up here and to hit a switch to do a puzzle. I remember being stuck on that part for a while when I first played this back in the 10s. I remember it so acutely that they will not stump me this time because, yeah, that's the one puzzle that got me so bad that I've committed it to memory. It left an impact, left an impression. Here's another card. I finished Prince of Persia, Lost Crown. Very cool little Metroidvania. I think that it does a good job of being a new type of those. Not quite as platformery as, like, Ori. But also not quite... But also with platforming that's, like, fluid and fun enough where traversal is a big part of the game, as is character action style combat. It all comes together really cleanly in a way that is nice, and it's fun to explore the areas, wander around, and figure out where to go next in classic Metroidvania style. Very much enjoyed each area of the game. There were some especially cool bits in there as well. I'll say, you know, we're currently in a time ocean. I'll say the coolest time ocean ever, which is a weird genre of thing to have an opinion on, but the best time ocean ever is definitely the one in Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. Like, no spoilers, but the Raging Sea, oh my god, that is just the coolest shit I've ever seen. Really makes me think of, like, the ship area in another comparable, like, Metroidvania, Bloodstain, and go like, well, I guess that was the first area, so it couldn't be that good, but Jesus Christ, this is kind of similar in a lot of ways, but has such a good twist upon it that it's remarkable. Hey, Skipper. Yeah, you shouldn't be here. You don't belong here, Skipper. Kung Fu Panda said that, or Angela Jolie character, Mistress Tiger said that in Kung Fu Panda. But he did belong there because he was the Dragon Warrior. So you gotta believe in shit. Wasn't that trite? It's a good movie. I love it. I love Kung Fu Panda. Not even mad. I wanted to get down. I'll take it from a save. I'll be fine just coming from the save. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Prince of Persia. Fantastic. Very good game, a 5 out of 5. I don't think it's quite all-time favorite status, but it's a game that I really enjoyed the hell out of, and I bet will be on my top 10 of the year. I say, before I played a second game of the year. It is of that level, where I am pretty damn sure that I will be singing its praises, once that is. Hey, here's an idea. What happens if I'm curious here. I want to find something out. Because the whole point of this area is to like explore the other side, and to get it where you can go down. There's gonna be some sort of blockers here that prevent you from just coming down to where the boss key area is, right? Even in the future side. Well, maybe not. All these doors look passable in on either side of the thing. But what were to happen if you were to take a save, go out, change the time from, like, past the future, and then die? Would you return here, but in the future? Or in the past? When everything is new. I bet the answer is, well, it's not going to break the game in any case. And also, you can probably just walk here, honestly. So, this is a silly thing to try. But I am curious. Would recommend Prince of Persia a whole lot. Another card, please. Been playing Marvel Snap. How about that new season? Marvel Snap, game that I'm always playing. Oh, I need to die soon, so let's not grab that. Marvel Snap, game I'm always playing, just started its new season, which has as its season pass a 3-drop that makes all one cost cards cost 0 for the next turn for you, specifically, just you. Kind of surprised at that stat line. Like, Jesus, it's a 3/5 and it makes other cards free, and it still somehow needs to have like a premium stat line. That is amazing, and also it can never backfire. I don't see why it would be that stat line, but also that card is going to be hard to use in any good deck, because emptying your hand of cards, spending a bunch of... Because drawing cards and getting a bunch of cards in hand is really hard. So it's going to be hard to get the cards into your hand such that on turn 4 you're ready to just slap down a whole bunch of them and do something else. I think it will work in a bunch of archetypes, most especially Destroy. But, and maybe Bounce. But I have my serious doubts about it being super good. But also it has a premium stat line. It's sort of above rate. Just even without even playing a single goddamn 1-cost card, and that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird that it's like that. Okay, yeah, we're in the past now. Near the door. We did travel to the future via that thing. That's interesting, but on reflection, it's probably not useful because all we did is pass some enemies and not anything that we couldn't just walk past. And it took us a while to do it, didn't it? Maybe not the most ideal solution in the world. Oh, can we just shoot these guys? That's pretty fucking good. I like that a lot. Don't have to deal with those fuckers anymore. How did you get in here? Can't get out of there while a sparkly thing guards the exit. That's true. Engine room is down there. Activate 2 power generators. Okay. Gotcha. Anyway, I'm not sure about that card. The giant new card. Giant... I don't even know what her deal is. I bet that card, from what I've read, it's a 4-drop that makes it so the next turn nothing gets revealed until the end of the game. That's not going to be very good. I can't think of a good application of it. Like, Hella doesn't want that. It's good against, as a tech card, against some threats, but... as a 4-drop, it's not good enough. It's not good enough as a 4-drop. If I had to guess, I would say that card will get buffed into like a 2-cost card or a 3-cost card. That is my first impressions of that, just seeing it, descriptions of it, and just realizing like, okay, it's a tech card. Just realizing plain and simple that okay, let's kill these guys. It's a tech card, so it's gonna be played responsibly in order to deal with cards such as Sarah or Leech, cards that come on 5. And it's true, it does fuck up those 2 cards, but at what cost? Even still, at a 4-drop, it is too late, too expensive. I think it's gonna have to be buffed to like a half as expensive. I'm betting 2. I'm betting it's gonna be like Shadow King. That is my read on that new card that came out today, other than the Season Pass one, of whose name I do not remember. She's like a Frost Queen or something. She's one of Thanos' dudes. I don't know. Whole season is Thanos' dudes. I think there are some powerful cards out this season, but I also think that nothing as genre-defining as, like, I don't know, as like the Blob. Nothing as good as Launch Blob is in this next couple of sets. I say sets, releases. I'll also say I'm not sure what I'm gonna be playing. I've been playing this dumbass deck for a bit. This greedy ass Thor Beta Ray deck, which is just based around just playing Thor, playing Beta Ray, and playing Mighty Thor. You know, getting the buff items into hand and just playing as many of those as possible. Maybe Arnim Zola in the Beta Ray, which is fun, but boy howdy, I don't think it's a good deck. It's unreliable, and It's just a very fun deck to do, is the thing. It's a very fun deck to do, but not a consistent one. Not one that I would necessarily say would take me to infinite, back to infinite again. I don't like it at the start of every season where I have to do good and be skilled to get back to the rank where you don't have to give a fuck anymore, unless you care about the overall rank at the end of the season, which I don't. I just purely want to put in the time and just then be able to play without worrying about what my ranking is. And gaining and losing cubes and just playing for fun. That's the way to do. I almost wish it was easier to get there. Like, you should just... I don't know. Here we need to switch it back. Switch back to the past. And do a thing. Here's another card. Who should be in the next Smash? First off, I'll say... the basic... as far as, like, who should be in that... basically... start out with this. I think everyone who is in current Smash should be in the next Smash. I think they should just continue building from what they got. Secondly, they're almost to... They're like at 80-something characters. I think based on that, and based on numbers, I think what they should go for is trying to put in... trying to get to 100. And then you can call it Smash Ultimate 100. Or something like that, or Deluxe, if you don't want to just go for the 100 mark. But if they could do that, you know, you'd have a point of distinction over, like, Ultimates. Because this would just be an expansion of that. But getting to 100, that'd be pretty impressive. I think, therefore, if you're going... If you're... Is anyone in here? Just these guys, but they're... I already did the thing in the room, so it's fine. Honestly, I do think, as far as, like, what I would request, what I would look for, I'd make the argument to Sakurai along the lines of, like, well, if you're trying to get to 100, it's probably going to be hard to get there without some clones and some semi-clones. I say clones. Obviously, clones do not count towards the 100 count. But semi-clones like Isabelle do. So I would say something to the effect of, like, well, let's make some semi-clones. And what better franchise to get a couple of Isabelles than one that is one of the biggest franchises, most important franchises out there, but only has 3 characters. So, I would put in Dixie Kong. I would put in Funky Kong. Both of them would be semi-clones of Donkey and Diddy, respectively, but with different specials and, you know, different basics as well in noticeable ways. They would be noticeably different specials. Like, say, oh, Funky... My big idea behind, like, how I would do it if it was just an echo, if it was just echoes, is I would have Funky have basically Diddy Kong's up B while being otherwise Donkey Kong, and I would have Dixie Kong basically Donkey Kong's up B while being basically Diddy Kong. And maybe they'd work differently. They're more powerful, slightly different handling, but, you know, Funky Kong would disappear into his barrel jet, and Dixie Kong would do her trademark twirl. And it'd be pretty cool. That'd be a pretty good way to represent both, but do that, but make them unique, and there you have 2 easy characters to get in there. And I'd also say, I would say that Donkey Kong wouldn't be out of line if it got more than that, even. If you're going for 100, you have like 17 slots to fill. 3 of them could be Donkey Kong, and then put in Cranky Kong. And Cranky Kong could just be a fully original character. I think that would be warranted. Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong, is the one who kidnapped Peach all that time ago. The star of Nintendo's first big game. That was basically Nintendo's first big game, right? Donkey Kong. I think Cranky Kong on that basis would be a fun addition. And as a Final Smash, not that I care about Final Smashes, but for a Final Smash would definitely do like a, would definitely do a thing where he became classic arcade Donkey Kong. And I think that would be pretty cool. Other than that, it's kind of hard to name Nintendo characters that sort of warrant that. I don't think anyone from Fire Emblem Awakening or... What was the last Fire Emblem called? The one with Toothpaste Girl, Toothpaste Protagonist, Toothpaste Hair. What was that one called? I don't... Engage, that's it. Didn't play that one. I think that most people didn't. So... Oh, don't move that. That's good to have on. Most people didn't, and I don't think anyone really regretted the decision to or to not do that, so... Yeah, let's just go ahead and keep that going, and just leave that one in the past. I don't think there's been any other big Nintendo releases that would really warrant that sort of inclusion in Smash. You know what would be good? I'm gonna say I would really like it, and this is... Okay. Here's my new idea for a Smash Brothers character. Recent game, franchise that already has one character. It would get a second in this one. Oachi from Pikmin 4. Go ahead and put Oachi in there. That'd be fun. Oachi is a dog. He's very cool. He can jump. Yeah, Oachi would be a good addition to Smash Brothers. Represent Pikmin a little more. Sure, why not? F-Zero has had the biggest year it's ever had with F-Zero 99. I don't think Samurai Goro makes it into Smash Brothers. I could see Dark Falcon, Black Falcon. I could see him as an Echo Fighter, but also Ganondorf already exists, so it's kind of not necessary to have like another, like a heavy-hitting Ganondorf Echo. Like, that would be highly unnecessary, actually. I don't have a key, right? Yeah. Other ideas. I think the problem is that even with a lot of Nintendo games coming out year over year, not a lot of them have like big new characters that absolutely warrant inclusion. I'll say for Zelda, put in King. Put in the King of Hyrule. Just put him in. And you can have like some sort of ghost power or something. Then again, should there be a character who's like doing Tears of the Kingdom type stuff? I don't know. You're not... I'm never going to say... Most of the characters from the individual games are never big enough and never recurring enough. Don't recur enough where you could actually bring them back for a second appearance. Right? Like, yeah, the Goat Man isn't going to be in Smash. He only will appear once and will never appear again. Any number of characters from like this game, Breath of the Wild. I think the king is your best bet. I think it'd be... I'll say this. I think it'd be really damn cool to see a throwback boss. Another dark enemy character from a Zelda game appear in Smash Brothers as a playable character. I would say Majora's Skull Kid would be an okay pick. Like an okay pick. But if I had to put money on it, I would say Vati from Minish Cap and Four Swords Adventures. You know, Majora's Mask is obviously a much more renowned game of those two. But I really would like Vati to have get some respect as like the other recurring villain in the series, even if he only recurred like once or twice. You know, maybe he has 2 or 3 appearances. But that's better than what most villains in the series get who aren't Ganondorf. And aren't mini-bosses. Obviously, mini-bosses will appear, you know, countless times. Any Mario characters? No. Oh, Waluigi. Waluigi will be in there. I said no too fast. I'll say Waluigi and Toad. Eh? Get in through the engine room. Oh, do we come in through the side of the ship? We go in through the side of the ship. Obviously, Waluigi is like the #1 most requested remaining Nintendo character. As far as like weird throwbacks go, I think it'd be really fun if they put Golden Sun Isaac in there. I think that'd be very cool. And, no, he sort of represents the Game Boy Advance a bit, I guess. Yeah, I'll say I only played the very start of that game very recently when it came out on Game Boy Advance Online, but I can see why people thought it was cool. I think that, I'd be perfectly happy to see Isaac in there, more than I'd be happy to see, like, many third-party characters who have a perfectly good shot. As far as third-party characters, I guess I should talk about third-party characters as well. Honestly, I'd rather see them focused on first-party characters for a bit. When they were doing the last DLC, as far as third-party characters go, my money was on, like, I feel like all my biggest bets and my biggest hopes were on, like, oh, I think it'd be nice to see some Western characters from, like, Western games, which, you know, Sakurai is not from the West, so he's maybe not as big into Scorpion or, say, Tracer. And I also think that with how Overwatch 2 has really shat the bed, Overwatch could not be less relevant now than it was then. I'm gonna say Master Chief should be in Smash Brothers. I'm gonna say Master Chief should be the third-party inclusion this time around. And I'd also like to see Crash Bandicoot. Those would be my 2 choices for third-party characters. One to represent Microsoft, like, you know, not obviously Banjo and Minecraft Steve are also Microsoft, but one to represent, like, Microsoft as a console brand. And also, Crash Bandicoot kind of represents PlayStation, even though it's not owned by PlayStation. It's owned by Microsoft, actually. Hey! Fuck, I just realized. Yeah, the character I would put in to represent the PlayStation is owned by Microsoft. How did that happen? What the hell? I think Spyro is also owned by Microsoft now, isn't it? And again, that is another character I would consider a PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 representative. Very cool, we got a small key. This is a very cool dungeon. I think they did a great job with it. The navigating the two eras is really neat. And because it has the two era component to it, it can be a little bit more compact, kinda, in ways, while also feeling really sprawling. You know, basically there's half as many rooms as there's twice as many rooms as there literally are, because they get to reuse the same ones twice. And build puzzles around navigating through them in multiple ways. Let me see. What did I say? I said Waluigi. Let me just. How many characters in Smash Ultimate? 81. 81 so far, right now. Wait, no. I think this is an outdated article. Outdated article, maybe. Let me go to Smash Bros. NUS Index Fighters. And we'll just look at what the number is on the last DLC character. Sora is number 82, so looking for 18 to get to 100. Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, Cranky Kong. Waluigi. Ghost of Hyrule. Hyrule King. Let's say Vati. 7. Master Chief. Crash. Wait, what's that? I got 8. Did I see 7? 3 Kongs. Waluigi. The Ghost and Boss. The dog from Pikmin. That's 7. Halo Man and Crash. 9. Did I say anyone else from Nintendo? Don't think that I did. Yeah, that list covers 9 characters. You need 9 more to get to 100. That's pretty good. That'd be the goal. Hey, Paul, how's it going? I was just listing out what characters I would put in Smash Brothers, the next Smash Brothers. I would want them to try to go for 100. So I would put in, let me list them again while I'm just going a place. I put the Dixie Kong, Funky Kong, and Cranky Kong. Dixie and Funky as like semi-clones, but still with enough new stuff where they count towards the 100 goal. I would put in Waluigi. Oh, I'd put in Toad as well. I think that takes us up to 10. I'd put in Toad, I'd put in Waluigi. I would put in the dog from Pikmin 4. I would put in the King of Hyrule. And I would put in I think Vati from Minish Cap. Or Skull Kid. Or Skull Kid. Another villain from Zelda for sure, though. And Master Chief and Crash Bandicoot. Those would be my 10. Naruto? Oh, well, it gotta be a video game character. That's the one rule they won't compromise in. As funny as it would be to put in, like, Geralt of Rivia. If we're talking non-video game characters, Geralt of Rivia or James Bond would be the funniest picks that they could do. Geralt of Rivia would be, like, the actual good pick. James Bond would be like a fun throwback to like, ooh, GoldenEye. Yes, I remember GoldenEye. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, it's Pierce Brosnan. It'd be funny also if it had the same model. That's what they should do. They should put Pierce Brosnan, but it's Nintendo 64 graphics Pierce Brosnan. You're just playing around? Gotcha. I got that. I understood. I'm just taking this, a little bit seriously. They should do Pierce Brosnan, and they should have one model be, like, all polygonal, and one skin be all, like, realistic. And have 4 of each, or more. Customizable colors would be cool in, like, a Smash Brothers. If it was in scope and possible to do. That's gotta be coming up. The next Smash Brothers. With the Switch 2 on the horizon. Like, they gotta be... I'll just go out on a limb here and say, within a year of the Nintendo Switch 2 being out, they gotta announce the next Smash Brothers. Not put it out necessarily, but we're going to have, like, an idea what they're doing relatively soon here. Is Banjo-Kazooie in it? Yeah, I think that they should try to keep all the characters they already have. So yes, Banjo-Kazooie was already in Smash Ultimate, and I think that it should continue. They should keep everyone around. Cloud Strife. Even the characters I don't love, like, I'll say I really don't care for, Kazuya at all. I just find him really awkward and stiff and hard to play. But we aim to the crystal through here, yes. And I feel like he has altogether way too many options at his disposal, but I wouldn't have them take him out of the game. I would maybe say that they gotta do some changes to make him more approachable, and to make it so that he doesn't have, like, a counter, a reflect, a thing, a this, a desperation move, a super move, this and that. He has so many fucking options. It's just, not balanced in any way that is, sensible, I think. But whatever, I'm sure they got a lot of balanced stuff to sort out with the next one. It'd be interesting to see what if characters also get, like, reworked in the same way that, like, Link did in Ultimates. Master Chief is not in it yet. I think Master Chief should be. Kratos would be a good pick if Sony was amenable to putting characters in Smash Brothers, which, you know what, I'm just gonna say it, I don't think that they are. I think that Sony will not put Kratos in Smash Brothers. God, though, can you imagine if the next Smash Brothers trailer came out and fucking Kratos came out? If Kratos and Master Chief were in the announcement trailer for Smash Brothers Ultimates, I would shit. I wouldn't shit, but I would be very surprised. Like, god damn. Really? Master Chief and Kratos? That'd be, like, the most amazing thing that they could possibly do. I have huge doubt that, that they can. Big doubt. Mortal Kombat characters? Those would be good. Yeah, they've done a lot of fighting game characters, and Mortal Kombat's, you know, Scorpion, Sub-Zero are both really good. Could you have them be echoes of each other? I don't think so. That's not how that series works, but they could try something like that. All those two characters are too different to be echoes of each other, so they would kind of demand being like 2 slots. Or it could be like Johnny Cage or something, I don't know. Could be Johnny Cage. I would say Mortal Kombat characters would be like a secondary, like a good DLC character, maybe. Then again, Master Chief would be an amazing DLC character in addition to being amazing, whenever you add Master Chief, he's gonna be amazing, and people are gonna lose their minds. God, there has to be someone at Nintendo going up to Sony and being like, "Hey, are you sure we can't do like some of your characters in Smash Brothers? We would love to do it. That'd be so fun." So Microsoft let us do it. Microsoft is cool. They let us do it multiple times even. And they're probably gonna do it again and again in the next one. And Sony will say, "No, no, no. We're not cool like that. We have our own thing." Doom Guy? I could see it. There was a costume for Doom Guy. I wouldn't bet on it. I also will say I think the time for Overwatch has passed. So I don't know what Blizzard character would make it in if a Blizzard character were to be chosen. I guess maybe Blizzard is on its way out, kinda. No. All the franchises that Blizzard has feel like they're less important than they were. No one's talked about StarCraft in years. Oh, there was a new Diablo. There was a new Diablo last year, but everyone's already forgotten about it. I don't see anyone from Blizzard getting into Smash Brothers. Kind of surprised there wasn't something from there in at least in an amiibo form in Ultimate, honestly. Overwatch was at the height of its power during the whole Smash Brothers era, Smash Brothers Ultimate era. Like, if ever there was a time for Smash for like someone like Lucio to get into Smash Brothers, it was around the time they were doing DLC. I got like one more card. Yep. Looking forward to whatever new game I get next. I'm not sure whatever new game I'm gonna get next, but seeing that I just finished that Prince of Persia game and I really liked it, I'm probably due to get something else new pretty soon here and spend some time with that. Hey, from a certain angle, this looks like a skull. That's the secret. Oh, well, it's not like this perspective. Here we go. I might get Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I might not. I might go back and finish Armored Core, which made my top 10 of the year last year, by the way. So I would absolutely love to go all the way with that, but it's long and hard and challenging, and will I find the time? But also, I do think I have time now that I just finished the last game that I was on. And, yeah. Boss fight! Let's go. Oh, this is weird. So you step in here, and it's... You actually have to leave the boss fight room. Because a cutscene has begun. Right. This is a cool boss fight. Jeez. It just turns the whole dungeon into a battleground. So like a third version of the whole dungeon here. That is like more dynamic and fresh. Raymond? You mean Rayman? I could see Rayman, yeah, someone from Ubisoft. The dude from Assassin's Creed. They hesitated. They didn't even say when they did Ezio as a amiibo costume. They couldn't say that it was Ezio. Instead, they couldn't say it was from Assassin's Creed because they didn't want to say Assassin's Creed. So I don't see that happening. I could see Rayman though. Rayman would be a fun one. I like mascot characters in Smash. I feel like that's a thing that just makes sense. Lara Croft. Ooh, I love that. That's a good one. Get you another lady character in the game, and also a very important one as far as you know, history goes. How many ladies were in my list of characters that I listed out? Was it just Dixie Kong? Don't mind. I think it was just Dixie Kong, wasn't it? They should make her with big boobies. Well, that is the historical context. They should do, you know what they should do? They should have, real talk, they should have one of the skins be like a polygonal Lara Croft, and just look like she did on the PlayStation 1 or 2 or whatever console she was on. Is there a character in Smash Brothers that has a polygonal lo-fi look for one of their skins? God, I feel like there is. I mean, Minecraft Steve is like that, but he comes like that out of the box. Just gotta shoot it in the eye. This thing really is just the boss from Bloodstained. Bloodstained also has a boss just like this. We were speaking of Bloodstained earlier. Another game with a ship level, though not as unique. We also talked about Prince of Persia, which has also has a ship level, except more unique. This is one of the more unique ship levels. Probably the second best ship level in gaming, as far as the conceit goes. I'll say again, the one in Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, the new one that just came out. That one is also time-related, and it's like a twist on this. On its boat twist, and it's incredible. It's so cool. Whoop. I might get infinite wealth, honestly. Like, pretty soon. Maybe by the next time y'all see me, which will be Thursday this week, so I might buy it tomorrow. Or maybe I'll just savor a nice quiet Wednesday afternoon and watch the animes that I need to watch. I say need to. I know that infinite wealth is like really long, so it's gonna be like a whole thing if I commit to it now. Gotta be a phase 2 here, right? Oh. That's a cool, cute little thing. Making us climb to the second level. Is that gonna be like a cool cannon? No, that's just a thing. That's just the bow. It's just a cool design. Eh? Whoa, they got mouths. want to shoot him and I just want to shoot. Oh, well, these things have items in them, so I should probably kill them. Give me a... Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Ooh. This is gonna be close. Oh! That'll do. That'll do it. I don't know what else is coming out early this year, but I bet there'll be something soon enough. I'll have cool things coming in the mail, like my new laptop, and I'll be moving come April. There's a lot going on, even if I don't have a 80-hour RPG to play, which I'm not sure if I really want yet. I didn't really love the first RPG that was a Like a Dragon game, but also people say that this one has much better combat. Even people who said that the first game's combat was booty say that this next one is actually good. We did it! We got a heart piece, but also we... Skyward struck the thing. So... How come... Okay, so... So the monster destroying the ship revealed the sacred flame. Almost inadvertently, huh? Almost inadvertently. I guess we didn't end up getting to do that whole plan that the little robot guys had, right? No matter. Whew. Well. That's a cool thing. I guess must be the second time we're seeing this. I just completely forgot that I saw it before. Last time. I'm sure next week I'll see it a third time and I'll say, "Ooh, this is new. Never seen this before. Neat." I got additional dousing options, as if there's more things to douse for that I don't have room for. I don't really need more slots, but okay. Not the best upgrade, goddess. I would like it to do more damage or something. How about that? Maybe have, like, a special projectile? I bet Din's upgrade is gonna be better. We do get the other pieces of the Triforce. The Triforce is gonna be all ours. Wow. Okay, so we're not just getting the courage one, we're getting the whole 3 parts. Hey, good looking out, little dude. Wait, why aren't you going to stay on your... It's over there, isn't it? Did you guys rebuild it, like, just right now? After it got destroyed by the thing? Let's see, what... Is the sand ship... Oh, wow, they fixed it. They fixed it right up. Good work. Good work, dude. Wow. You work fast, my little friend. Well then, that was the second Lanayru chunk of the game, wherein we did the Sand Ocean, a trial, a Sand Ocean, and the Sand Ship. Pretty solid chunk of the game. I would say pound for pound, all things included, holistically, probably the best chunk of the game. I do think the HS Cistern is better than the Sand Ship, but it's close, actually. I really enjoyed going through it tonight, especially because I didn't get stuck anywhere this time, unlike the first time I played it, where that bit where you have to lower a boat down to the lower quarters, that really stumped me the first time I played it back in the 10s. And yeah. We'll leave it there for tonight. Let's just leave that guy alone. I'm gonna save once more time, just to be safe. And we're going to just get. I'm gonna walk away from that electric guy, so we're in a nice safe place next to our friend, the captain. He has a mustache, don't he? Do all the guys have mustaches like that? Maybe. Maybe. Hey, buddy. Just gonna position ourselves just right. How about we stand right here? Get out the whip. Whip. What's good? What's good? Okay. Anyway, folks, that's gonna do it for tonight. That was a nice long stream. We covered good ground and got a lot done. The whole Sand Ocean Sand Ocean arc was indeed very fun. It's fun to sail around on this here ship. Can I get this into frame? The camera's all weird here. I guess because this is like a solid wall, and this is a solid wall, so it can't just be in a good spot to get a good whatever. Doesn't matter. You see it. Anyway, I'll stand on this side. Anyway, I'll be back on Thursday with a Stardew Valley stream, which will be a collab with Judo Yuno, very cool streamer. People on YouTube probably definitely don't know him because he's a Twitch streamer of, you know, a small Switch streamer, you know, about the size of me, I would say. Relatively obscure, but a very cool dude, and has a very cool community. And then on Friday, I'll be back with viewer levels as per usual. No Saturday stream this week, and probably not any of those in the near future. I don't know if I love doing Saturday streams, honestly. Just doing the streams on Saturday morning isn't bad. The problem is after, I have to spend time like processing doing the timestamps on the VOD, the thumbnail, all that, and I have to do that on either Saturday night or Sunday morning, and I just I don't want to do that kind of work on either of those times, honestly, and makes it a little more of a to do a stream on that at that time. So we'll see when I do extra streams in the future, but for right now, for this week, extra one on Thursday, and then next week I think will be more of a chill week with just 2 streams. Tuesday for Skyward Sword and Friday for viewer levels. That's my thoughts right now. Let me see who's online, who I can send you to. I don't know what Bestie Bets is doing, but I'll send you over to Bestie Bets. Bestie's cool. Let's do that. I'm gonna pull that up on my phone so I can watch the raid go on. Oh, League of Legends. Sure, whatever. That's fine. She's cool. Okay, folks. I am going to bounce. That's the end of the stream. I will see y'all. I will see y'all on I'll see y'all on Thursday. Judah, you know, will be here. We'll be streaming together using that stream together feature that Twitch has. People on YouTube will get to enjoy it. Nonetheless, we'll be, you know, live on both places as per usual. Don't worry about that. Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, and Friday for viewer levels if you're interested in that. And if you like, you know, more Zelda, would like to see the volcano portion, the volcano stealth portion, and the 6th dungeon, that'll be next Tuesday, same time as this week, 8 p.m. Central. I'll see you on Thursday, folks. I will see y'all on Thursday, folks. Bye. Have a great Wednesday, I guess.